Oh look, I'm wearing your hat.
Oh.
Not just because you're here today, but...
Good morning, beans. So I wanted to start my hormone healing journey series today, but unfortunately we ended up, well, not unfortunately, we ended up at our friend's cafe, Farm Cup Coffee. It's our favorite cafe in LA. And I mean, I had to try the strawberry matcha latte, but I was gonna do something caffeine free. So we'll start tomorrow. But to give you the rundown, today we went to Farm Cup and we checked out their new location, which is in Echo Park. And they're also opening a restaurant this summer, which is beautiful. Everything they do is like so beautiful and aesthetic, so I love it, and they're such great people. That was the morning. I had a donut for breakfast and some fruit, so breakfast of champions, obviously. And then I did not work out this morning. I would have otherwise maybe gone to Pilates, but we're gonna talk about that stuff tomorrow. But right now I'm gonna head to Venice to have lunch with my friend Liv. That's what you missed. As you can see, this didn't really hit the same. I am making a big switch from matcha to hojicha because caffeine is not great for your hormones, but I just don't love the taste of hojicha quite as much. It's still good, I don't love it the same way I love matcha, but I'm gonna experiment. Another thing I'm gonna try to do is drink a bunch of water before my caffeinated latte, because usually the first thing that I put in my body is a matcha latte, and I feel like it's a liquid, but it's caffeine, so it's not hydrating. I'm gonna go to a Pilates and stretching class, so we'll talk after class a little bit more about the changes I'm making, but I am gonna eat some fruit as like, I don't know, like a pre-breakfast, just to have something in my body, because that's also a little bit better when you're having caffeine to have something in your body. Okay, I am back for my stretching and Pilates class. I just have to say, it was the most incredible class that I've been to, because as somebody who used to be a dancer and used to be a gymnast, the class was taught by a lot of like ex-Russian rhythmic gymnasts. And it was just really great stretching, because it wasn't just like a yoga class. It was deep, intensive stretching that felt like conditioning. And to some people, I feel like they would think it's torture or just like not fun or painful, but to me it actually felt really good to be getting deeper into the stretches. Like, you got great assists. There was like a little bit of a low impact workout for the warm-up, and I still got sweaty. I just didn't feel that crazy rush, which is a good thing, because right now I am avoiding high impact things. So you may have noticed that I'm drinking hojicha today instead of matcha, and I thought it would be a good segue into this new journey that I am embarking on, this lifestyle change that I hope to embrace and share with you. I am essentially trying to dedicate a period of time, about 2 to 3 months, to really focusing on doing the best that I can for my hormones. As somebody with a uterus, I have basically come to understand that hormones play such an important role in my overall well-being, my energy levels, like everything. And to give you background, I'm now 27 years old, and I would like to have kids in the very near future, like the next couple of years basically. And I lost my period many years ago because I had an eating disorder, so I was under eating, and essentially my body didn't have the resources to even consider being able to reproduce or take care of another life, because I was just not taking care of myself enough. So that was sort of the state that my body was in, and as a result of my hormones being so messed up and losing my period, I've had a lot of hormone related issues since. One of them is chronic breakouts around my chin area, and this area is known to be like where you'll get hormonal breakouts very often. Other things like losing my period and then struggling to get it back. And I do now have my period and it's fairly regular, but for many years it was so irregular. I would get insane PMS symptoms like cramps like no other, but I would not bleed fully. It was really strange and unpleasant, a lot of spotting unexpectedly, so really just difficult to manage, difficult to plan, and overall not a fun time, something I would not recommend. So I've started to notice that lately I feel extremely tired despite the fact that I'm sleeping more than ever. I mean, I'm telling you, I've been sleeping so much more, but I'll wake up after sleeping in and feel not rested at all. I'll yawn throughout the day. I just feel like kind of frizzled out is the best way I can describe it. And when I get stressed about something, no matter how tiny it is, I just feel like my entire body kind of shuts down. It's like I don't really have the bandwidth for additional stress. And to me, that's a sign that my body is pretty fucking stressed out. And, you know, in the past, I would love to do high intensity workouts. I love the sweaty feeling. I love the rush, the kind of endorphins. But nowadays, instead of giving me energy, like I used to describe it as a cup of coffee, you know, but now I just feel so drained and like I'm burnt out to the point of like no return after workouts like that. So little things like that are indicators to me that I really need to commit to some of these changes, and I just thought a series like this would make it helpful. I can kind of share what I'm doing with you guys, document the process, and just encourage you to maybe do some looking into hormone health yourself, because it is all so very personal. You could be estrogen dominant, you could be progesterone dominant, you may not have any issues with your hormones, and some of the things that I'm changing you might be able to get away with, and that's great. But I just kind of wanted to show you the process of me trying to figure out my hormones. So before I describe any of the changes that I'm implementing, I just want to encourage you to do your own research. Like I said, I am by no means a medical professional. We all know this, right? But I have done a lot of research in my own quest to regain my own period, and a lot of the changes that I'm going to be talking about are all natural. They're very holistic and harmless, but still, if you are trying to figure out an imbalance yourself, you just want to make sure that it's something that aligns with the direction you're trying to go in, if that makes sense. So I believe I'm pretty estrogen dominant, and I know this because when I was working with a doctor to try to regain my period, usually we'd focus on things to kind of promote the progesterone side of things. So keep that in mind. All of these lifestyle changes, it's not about making anything too restrictive or prescriptive, and nothing too extreme. A lot of these things I would do anyways around my time of month, but I would never commit to doing it kind of long term. And so I just really want to see how that feels when I am sticking to it more of the time than not, if that makes sense. But with all goals, I think it's really important to make them really realistic. Also make them very easily achievable. And by that I mean like be very descriptive about how you're going to achieve the goals and what steps are going to get you there. These are all tips that I took from Atomic Habits. Great read, but I'm just going to mention that right now because as I share my goals with you, I'm going to try and keep to that too. So the changes I want to make starting with the morning is make sure that I take my vitamins. So as a vegan, it's especially so important that I take my B12, but other vitamins are also very important. And in an ideal world, we could get all the things we needed from food, but I'm gonna be straight up with you. Most of us don't eat in a way where we hit those nutrient goals every single day perfectly. And there's nothing wrong with supplementing a little bit. It's not to say that we're, gonna eat like shit and just take supplements. That's obviously not great, but this is just a way for me to get a little bit of extra of what I'm lacking in, and especially knowing that I'm working on an imbalance, yeah, it's important for me to supplement. So I will be supplementing with vitamins and a couple of additional herbs. So I'm taking my daily multivitamin. I take the Ritual one, and this just covers all my bases, including vitamin D3, omegas, and also B12, which I really love. And then I also take the Symbiotic. This is for gut health overall. It's basically pre, pro, and postbiotic all together. Not too related to hormones, but just overall great for digestion, which is great for overall health and well-being. I'm also taking zinc, glutathione, is that what it's called? Or L-glutamine. And then also I'm taking a B complex in addition, just for a few days because I have a bottle left over that I want to work through. And I have not really been taking my vitamins consistently for a few months now, so I just want to make sure I'm good. In the evenings, I'm going to be taking magnesium, which I do every day anyways. It's great for relaxation, muscle recovery, and also helps with digestion, but I find it super helpful for better sleep. And I will be taking this adrenal support supplement, which I got from Garden of Life. With the vitamins, I'm going to be drinking a lot of water. So I'll be taking the vitamins with my morning latte. And I want to drink water first thing in the morning because I used to have caffeine first thing in the morning, and that would be the only thing in my body for like hours. So instead of matcha, I'm actually going to be starting to drink hojicha, which is a low caffeine option. It's the same plant, but it's lower in caffeine because it's roasted, and the flavor is very different, but it's just a great alternative. For me, part of what I love about matcha is like the ritual of it, and I'm actually not addicted to caffeine at all. I function without it, and I don't really do well with strong amounts of caffeine, like if we're talking coffee, for example. I just love the taste of matcha so much. It's something I grew up with, so it's really hard for me to give up. I think I'll allow myself like a matcha once a week or something like that if the opportunity comes up, or if I'm at a cafe with friends and it's the only option. Another thing I want to get on top of is meals. I mentioned in one of my recent What I Eat in a Day videos that I just haven't really been eating breakfast for a long time because I just wouldn't feel super hungry when I woke up. And what I've been used to doing is doing a fasted workout first thing in the morning. So I would wake up and I wasn't really super hungry because I hadn't been awake for very long, and I would just go work out. And I loved it too because I didn't feel like there was like food in my body, like, kind of swishing around in my stomach. Like I hate the feeling when you're eating and then you go to work out soon after and you haven't fully digested. It's just not a great feeling. I would like to not only just like commit to having real breakfast, but if I'm gonna work out, I want to have something in my stomach, whether that's like a little bit of fruit, something light. So today before my Pilates class, I had some fruit. Easy, light. It's also better for like caffeine consumption to eat something with your caffeine. So if you are sensitive to caffeine, it could be great to just have it with breakfast. The workouts are gonna be a major shift for me. I'm gonna be taking a break from high intensity workouts. So I love high intensity workouts because I love sweating. Like I always feel so good after a sweat, and I feel like it's just a whole body pump, like the blood's moving, you feel great. It's almost like a rush, and I would always feel super energized, but it's just not doing it for me anymore. If anything, I will still include weightlifting because I think there's a way to do that in a low impact way. Heavier weights, lower, slower reps, you know, that is still a great way to weight train. So I think I'm gonna do that. And if I end up going to classes like strength training at Training Mate, I think I'm just gonna skip the cardio bits and switch it out for something that fits my tempo. Instead, I'm gonna be focusing on reformer Pilates, which I love and is just as, if not more intense for your muscles. And for kind of cardio, I think I'm gonna focus on yoga, maybe hot yoga every once in a while, and walking, lots of walking. Low impact walking. I always feel great when I walk. And maybe hikes. I think hikes can be a pretty good low intensity way to just like get your heart pumping and get your steps in. Definitely big changes for me. Nutrition's gonna stay primarily the same, but eating 3 meals is gonna be a lot more helpful for me because as a recipe developer, I'm like taking bites of food throughout the day. It's just not good. Every day is unpredictable. Sometimes I'll have no food for hours and then like tons of random food. So I want to be more consistent with breakfast, lunch, dinner. Sleep, I'm going to try to get to bed quite early. So I'm aiming for 10 to 11 p.m. And I'm going to also charge my Oura Ring because my dirty little secret is that I never charge my Oura Ring. Like it's been dead for at least 2 months and I just keep wearing it as if it's doing something for me. It's not, but this shit is not cheap, so I need to get my money's worth. I need to charge my Oura Ring and get back to it. I think I was just avoiding it because I knew that my sleep was kind of off, you know? Last but not least, one de-stress activity a day. That could be a magnesium salt bath. That could be a daily walk after dinner. It could be a little bit of reading, some stretching, or like a Theragun session. I just need to focus on the de-stressing and the decompressing part because, like I said, when you're kind of fried, any additional stress pushes you over the limit. Like this is kind of like, there's a normal threshold within which we're allowed to feel stress or supposed to be stressed. Like stress can always be healthy if it's the right amount, if that makes sense. Like sometimes a little bit of stress is okay for you, but when you're not taking care of yourself, your bandwidth shrinks. And once you exceed these barriers of like how much stress you can be feeling, it just sends your body into this crazy mode. We are not built to feel stressed all the time. And I have to say, a lot of these health hacks and health trends, diet trends, a lot of these things are actually really not so great for people with uteruses. Fasting, keto, things like that are not great for people with uteruses. And it just comes down to biology. We're so incredibly different and, you know, we've got a whole ass reproductive system. So as much as I've spent a lot of time wishing that I could just be like a man and, you know, do all these like crazy biohacking things, and I'm sure it works for some people. Yes, I know some biohacking women. I know it's not everyone, but I'm just saying from my personal experience, I can vouch that I don't feel like it's the best for people with uteruses. Extreme stress is just generally not such a great thing. All right, so those are all the changes. I've been talking so much. I'm so sorry. I just wanted to lay it out there so you knew what to expect. But for the rest of the day, we are gonna be getting on. I have some work to do. I've got to film a campaign for Baby Belle's new plant-based cheese alternatives, which I'll show you in a second. So yeah, let me take a break from the, I'm wiped out. There's too much talking. Okay, I'm back. I just want to show you this product that I got because I've been waiting to try it. I'm doing a partnership with Baby Belle, which I never thought I would say because I grew up eating these cheeses and now they have this plant-based cheese alternative. I just filmed a little taste test and I wanted to film like my first reaction to trying it. I'm actually shocked by how good it is. I don't ever say this, but I think this is like the best plant-based cheese alternative I've ever tried. Like it's so creamy where I'll actually eat it on its own, like without it being melted, which I don't usually do. I'm shook. Can you just comment down below if you ever used to eat this when you were little, because this was my childhood and I feel like the best vegan products are the ones that emulate things that you grew up eating. It's so good. Good morning. So I dropped off Sesame. He's gonna get neutered today, which is why I have my mask on. I'm waiting for another Uber. But I just had a little bit of a sad moment. I am kind of close to Echo Park and I wanted to try out this new cafe that's been on my list for a while called La Veta, but I don't think they have hojicha, and I feel like I just started this whole switch from matcha to hojicha, so it's a little too early for me to be like, I'm gonna have a matcha, so I'm not gonna go. And this is like something that I feel like maybe people who avoid caffeine experience, where it's not even about the caffeine, it's about the cafe experience. I love cafes, so I'm a little bit sad, but I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna make a really good hojicha latte and I'm gonna commit to the hormones. Good morning, guys. It's actually 7:30. I have my first meeting today at 8 and then I have back-to-back meetings until 12. They're really exciting meetings, but they're also meetings that I have to be super present for, all on Zoom. So I'm just going off of nothing today. I haven't really been enjoying my hojicha lattes. It just doesn't hit the same. So I've just kind of not been drinking anything in the morning and I've been fine. Energy levels have been good. I feel like I'm less wired. And I actually haven't worked out in like the last 3 days just because I've been a little too busy. And my days have started so early that I just like haven't had the time to do something before my first meeting like today. So I feel like one thing that's different is like I always feel like I'm really puffy or like kind of bloated in the morning, like especially my face. I have a little bit of like swollen eye thing, but I kind of feel like it's getting better as I get used to it. And it's kind of nice. I do get a little bit of extra time back since I'm not prioritizing working out first thing in the morning. It just hasn't worked out because right now I'm prioritizing breakfast. So today is kind of like an exception. I'm gonna be eating some like rice crackers in between the 5 minutes I have in between the meetings. So that's gonna be my day, and then I'm heading to an event after that. We have like 12 minutes, so I'm gonna go upstairs. I'll bring you with me. Yeah, it's not gonna be very fun. Even if I time lapse it, it'll just be like me talking to a laptop, but it is for something really exciting that you guys have been asking for a really long time. So despite it being like such a long project, I think it'll be really exciting once it's done. Here we go. So I'm taking my meetings in bed. This is my half professional outfit. I'm wearing sweats on the bottom. It's all on Zoom, so nobody sees it anyway, but I'm in meeting 2 of 4, so I have 2 more. Yeah, I'm all talked out, but 2 more to go and then we're done for the day. Okay, I just speed got ready. I'm wearing this super cropped crop top. Like, I'm no stranger to crop tops, but this is especially cropped, and it's like, honestly, I don't feel the most comfy because like it gives me a weird squish. So I'm not feeling the most confident, but I have to wear Alo to this Alo event and we're running a little behind. So lift is on the way. I just need to get myself there. Guys, it's been a whirlwind. I'm so tired of talking. It's been 5 straight hours of meetings, really exciting ones, which I think I'm gonna probably just tell you about when I get back, but we gotta get to Alo. Hello beans. I think my makeup is like everywhere at this point. It has been a long day. I went to the Alo Yoga event and it was really fun, but a little overwhelming because it's this gigantic house. You walk in and the first thing you do is like put in an order for clothes through Route, which is another brand that I work with and love. And then we just kind of hung out by the pool. We had snacks. It was just a great time to hang with Liv. And now I am back. I'm overwhelmed though because I think it was just so much talking and so many meetings and like very exciting, but I think that exciting energy can also be kind of draining. So I'll just give you a little clue into like what's going on because I think by the time I post this vlog, I will be able to share this anyway and it'll be like a solid thing that's happening. But I am working on a book and I want to give you guys a little bit of insight. I have actually been trying to work on a book for over 3 years at this point. And it's something that a lot of you guys have asked me about. I feel like it's natural, right? To kind of expect like a food blogger to put out a cookbook eventually. but I just felt like there were so many vegan cookbooks already out there. And actually, to be super honest with you, I was emailed by somebody at Penguin Random House many years ago, and they reached out to me about doing a book, but it wasn't the kind of book that I had in mind. I always thought that I would write a cookbook first because, you know, I'm a food blogger, and they wanted something else, and I just wasn't sure. And it really made me question, like, why can't I just write just a cookbook? So eventually I reached out a few years later, and I got a literary agent, and I started working on it, and we finally came together with a proposal. But I worked with her for probably like a year, maybe a little bit longer. And honestly, it was pretty brutal because there was a lot of like just completely scratching my ideas. I think my agent didn't really see my vision and believe in it and understand the path that I was taking with my writing. And I ended up switching agents, and now finally I am having meetings with publishers. I have been all week. I think I had 9 meetings thanks to my agent, and it's just kind of incredible because the feedback I've been getting has been so wonderful. Like, they really understand the vision. And just to let you guys know, it's not going to be just a cookbook. That I can't share too much about. I can't share the contents, but it won't be just a cookbook. There'll be more to it, and I think it'll be something that you enjoy if you like my content and you read my captions and you enjoy the recipes and you read anything I ever write. Like, I think it'll be something that you love. I'm writing this with you in mind, you know, but it's kind of crazy and emotional because so many different points in this journey I've kind of given up on the idea. And Brandon has been really supportive and actually put me in touch with my current agent that got everything kind of going on the right trajectory. But it, to me, is one of the best examples of trying, even when it seems like things are going nowhere. You just never know what direction things are going to go. And if there's anything that you're working on where you feel like you're hitting a wall, but you feel like you know it's supposed to happen, I just want you to know I believe in you. And sometimes it's all about timing and just the right person and the right path. And to wrap this all up, what's even crazier, and I hope you guys won't think I'm crazy for this, but like 6 years ago, I went to this event at Goop. Might have been even longer actually, but many years ago, I went to this event at Goop, and they had this psychic. So I had a session with her, and the first thing she said to me was, "You were born to write about food. You're going to be writing about food. Are you a food magazine editor? Are you a food critic? You're born to write about food." And I was like, this is kind of crazy because I do technically write about food and sharing recipes on my Instagram. But at that point, I wasn't even that big into food yet. You know, I was like just sharing like basic Buddha bowl recipes and stuff like that. It's just crazy to think about because I did always love English class, and like AP Lang was my favorite. Creative writing was my favorite. Never thought of myself as a writer, thought I had it in me. But here we are. I'm writing a fucking book. This is the beginning of what's going to be a crazy journey. Like, it's a long process. So I think if you guys are interested, I thought I would kind of keep you updated in the vlogs and like share what the process is like of writing a book, because this is my first time too. And so far it's been shocking. Like, a lot of it has been so unexpected. So we'll talk more about that later, but right now I'm about to go on a little mental health walk. I'm going to call my mom. Walking is something that I feel like I'm going to use as like a cool down, de-stress tool as well. As you guys know, I've been like really on my low impact movement shit lately. So we're gonna go for a walk, and then maybe I'm gonna take a bath with like salts, Epsom salts, to also help like down regulate my nervous system. So let's go for a walk. I feel like you're probably confused because I'm drinking a matcha today. I had my breakfast, I took my vitamins, and this is my first matcha since I kind of started my whole series. It's been about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. I just haven't really been vlogging much because I have just been kind of doing less, and I think that's part of the plan. Not as many workout classes. I've just basically only been doing Pilates, and I went to one training mate class, which was a strength-based circuit training, and I only did basically the weightlifting. I did zero cardio, or I would like sit on like the, what is it called, the air bike, and I would only use my arms, for example. Overall, I've been feeling good. It's only been, like I said, like a week, 2 weeks max, and I've stopped randomly yawning throughout the day. I don't feel like crazy burnt out anymore. I feel less inflamed. I know it's hard to tell, but from what I can tell and just how I feel better. So I was like, let me just enjoy one matcha because it's the weekend and see how I feel. And then I'll also kind of know if it's that exactly, you know, like I'll sort of have a better idea of what things exactly are making me feel better without. So yeah, I had my first matcha. I have to tell you, the hojicha has not been hitting. I just have been like not drinking anything in the morning basically because I just don't enjoy the hojicha the same way. I kind of have to be in the mood for a hojicha latte, and I just, most days I am not. So that's kind of the update. But later today I'm going to be packing, so I'll include you as part of that process, and then I'll show you what I'm packing. I probably won't make it aesthetic because I just don't have the time right now, but I'll show you the stuff I'm packing and how I'm going to keep it up when I'm not home, because I feel like that'll be a big test. Travel is usually pretty stressful. But right now we're making something with butter, and it's kind of fun because I don't often cook with a lot of vegan processed things like vegan cream cheese or vegan butter, but we're gonna be making something with butter and radish, and it's gonna be beautiful. I'm wearing this like pink, it's actually kind of purple sweater to match the theme. But that's what we're gonna do today. I just thought I would update you and be honest that I had a matcha today, and I honestly feel fine right now. I had it with breakfast, which I think helps a lot, and then I took my vitamins. So that's the update as of right now. I think all is well. I want to continue, but we'll just kind of see. And I also wanted to show you this. It's so beautiful, and I like that it's a little bit more heavy. Like it's got a better weight on it for me, so when I'm cutting, it just feels better. All right, so we're gonna make the radish. I'll time lapse it on my phone, but I need this camera, so be right. This is the recipe that I filmed today. I'm honestly not super happy with it because you can see it started to break, and I had to make them smaller than I actually wanted. I wanted the like butter slices to be a little bigger. But this is the best I got. I mean, it still looks good. It looked better before when I got the shot, so I'll probably attempt again, but for now I think I'm just gonna post it because otherwise I won't have any content when I'm traveling. But here's the aftermath, the setup. This is a recipe disaster. I feel like I get pretty lucky because this doesn't happen to me very often anymore, but there are definitely times where I'm not loving the way a dish is turning out, and I just tried to make a soup. It was supposed to be like the easiest, most simple soup, and this is where I am right now. It's just not happening today. So I think what I'm gonna do is just put everything in a jar, put it in the fridge, and I will revisit it tomorrow with like a fresh perspective, hopefully. So now, lucky me, I get to wash dishes. I get to deal with all these dishes now, but I'm done for the day. So that's it for cooking. I'm like a little bit, well, I just hope to keep on my same routine and my schedule. I packed all my supplements, and I just have to stay on top of what I've been doing because it's been working, and I feel like travel can just be inherently a little stressful, and I'm going to be with actually not that many people at all, which is really great because some influencer trips I've been on, it's just like there's so many people, but I do have like a lot of deliverables, and so I have to stay focused while also working on non-travel related campaigns, you know. So, and then I just need to pack up like toiletries, all my makeup stuff, and then these are all the supplements that I put into everything. I think, oh, I can't forget these. This is a beauty blender holder, and I'm just gonna bring this as is. I decided to bring a big stuffy because I am anxious.